just out of sight. Can't face me in the light. They'll return, but I'll be stronger. Gotta want to dream again. Take me where I've never been. I wanna go there. This time I'm not scared. I am unbreakable. It's unmistakable. No one can touch me. Nothing can stop me.
Sa laban namin ng Mineski, hindi kami masyado nakapag-prepare. Lumamang kami nung una, pero natalo pa rin kami sa ulit dahil lumabas yung experience ng against ng Mineski kaysa sa amin dahil mas matagal na silang pro player. Pero sa laban namin ng AEX, tingin ko mas kaya namin sila dahil maraming nabago sa roster nila. So, abangan nyo yung laban namin ng AEX at tingnan nyo kung paano tatalunin si Tamsu sa jungle.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. You're of course still watching the Garena Pro Gaming Series 2017 Spring Term, powered by Bacchus. We'll be your casters for this next game. I'm Atlas, with me is Iconic. Of course, we'll be getting into that. We just finished a really good sweep coming from Team Manila Eagles against Asian Arena. Very clean, coming from both Trevor and from Marky.
Yeah.
Of course, I have to say, even if all the spotlight was on Marky, Trevor was really pulling his weight in both games.
Yeah.
In first game, Jace, all of that poke, it was so potent and set up Marky for success in cleaning up. As for the second game, well, we don't have much words other than all those outplays on that set, all those baits.
So I think I'd give him like the MVP. Yeah, there we go, MVP for those two matches. And what else is there to say, Atlas?
I mean, he's definitely pulling his weight in the team, setting up Marky for a lot of success, just even if he's on another carry. But of course, that was from last match. We are moving on to our next match on the schedule, which will be Genki versus Acclaim Empire X. We saw Genki previously yesterday. They did have a 0-2. Now AEX, we haven't seen them since Spring Split, so we'll be seeing how they perform here. Genki will be seeing if they can recover from their losses from last time.
Especially as you saw with that interview from Genki Spear, he's calling out Tamsu.
Yeah,
as you can see, this matchup, Genki versus Acclaim Esports, it's very Acclaim Empire Esports. It's actually very jungler centric, both teams. So it's, I think the featured player matchup for this coming to next two games will be Tamsu versus Spear, and how they actually snowball and probably carry their teams towards victory.
It's really about how the junglers will be dictating how the game goes. Of course, you have to pay attention to this game. It's going to be not only exciting, but you will have a chance to win a 250 RP skin with our Match and Win promo. The code will come up, you can redeem it and the store, but you'll have to guess one of the characters. It's either going to be something from A to Z or 0 to 9. So you have around a 3% chance, but you won't be losing anything just by trying.
Yeah.
And you might get lucky and get that skin if you're fast enough. So, of course, coming into this matchup, I have a lot of expectations from AEX. Of course, they have some roster changes since last season. Of course, one of their top players, Calculated, did go to another team, and of course one of their key players, Tamsu, one of the highest pressure, highest kill participation junglers since Spring Split, since last season even, are still present.
Yeah, but the question is now, is Tamsu still the #1 jungler in PGS? Because back then, Mineski's jungler was Nixta and not James, and James showed up during GPL and is now the starting jungler for Mineski. So a lot of people trying to steal Tamsu's spot as the #1 jungler of the Philippines.
Yeah, because his pride as a jungler was his kill participation. In 2016, he was around 70%. Now he's tapered off to around 60, 55. Still very good, but other junglers seem to have surpassed that. Like James, man, his skill participation was also around the 70s, like a little below what Tamsu had in 2016, but still so much pressure coming from that player.
Yeah, especially when we saw the Genki versus Mineski games yesterday, you could just see how the skill difference between James and Spear was, and I don't know how the odds will go for Spear versus Tamsu, but I think I keyed at like 60-40 in favor of Tamsu.
Yeah, Tamsu, of course, still one of the greatest players on AEX. We'll be seeing how he and the rest of AEX have prepared over the break since Spring Split, because they have had a lot of time. They didn't need to go through promos. So we'll be seeing how they have improved, how they've recuperated from the roster changes, how they've adapted. And Genki, of course, this is their chance to recover and prove themselves still as one of the teams in PGS.
Yeah. So one thing you can take note of is that one of Tamsu's signature champions, his iconic champions, is the Zac, and Zac is super strong right now in 7.10.
I'm not expecting it to get past pick and bans.
If it does, though, that would make a very interesting match, because Tamsu has been spamming it for sure in solo queue. He's
so
been playing
strong.
Yeah,
like, there's so much potential for disruption. The stretching strikes, I think, is one of the biggest changes to him. Even it's like a blitzcrank hook that you just need to target people after you get the initial punch in, and then it can target 2 people, disrupt them really hard, and then because the Let's Bounce can actually kidnap people, put them out of position, and there's like so little time to react if the elastic slingshot is fully charged.
Yeah, so what happens is he just messes them up with the stretching strike and then knocks them up, brings them towards the enemy team with the Let's Bounce, the kidnap. The kidnap coming out from the Zac. So yeah, I really do look forward to seeing Tamsu play Zac, but there's a high probability that Zac will be banned.
It is the new permaban jungler, replacing Ivern, because he was nerfed in terms of his clear. So I'm expecting probably Zac won't be let pass, but if it is, it's going to be a fun match.
Exactly, and Genki Spear with a lot of very strong junglers as well. His Kha'Zix is really good, his Graves is really good. He has a lot of... both jungler pools, champion pools are really big as well. So there's not a lot of intersection and not a lot of contested picks, because they are very comfortable with a lot of champions.
Like, I'm imagining a pick and ban where like 5 or 4 jungler picks are banned out, and then they have to fight over the remains.
Yeah, that could be a possibility just because of how jungler centric these teams are.
Of course, we'll be seeing that after we get into pick and bans in a little bit, of course, but before all of that, it's still this matchup. The entirety of the summer split is like a refresh since the spring split. So coming into GPL, Mineski had a good run. In the end, of course, they were beaten out by Ascension. Still a great run in terms of their performance. And now we're on to summer split, so this is like a refresh. Every team still has a chance to get into GPL, get to Worlds, depending on everyone's performance. Of course, let's get into the pick and ban phase between Genki Esports and Acclaim Empire X. Let's see if our prediction of a 4 or like high jungler priority bans will come true.
Yeah, so as you can see, Twitch banned out 4 Genki Esports, respecting Gen V's Twitch. Twitch is a very strong hyper carry in this meta, probably one of the top 5 AD carries as well.
One of the top 80 carries, a little bit weak in the early, vulnerable in the early game, but Ace Style has shown that he can survive on that long enough to scale. Might be.
But as you can see, Zac still not banned. Oh,
there
you go.
AEX bans their own Zac.
Not allowing Genki to get
They
get
are
their
on
hand
red
on
team.
Yeah.
So Genki will have priority here. Since it seems like Genki will get an opportunity to pick a high priority support on that Lulu, because they did ban out the Karma. AEX will have to find an alternative here once they reach to their bot lane picks.
Yeah, and again, that's very important, because AEX, they also have these Jugger Kog'Maw, Jugger Twitch compositions coming out. As we saw in the previous splits, they like putting Gen V on a hyper carry. So this kind of denies a lot of that kind of potential as well for AEX.
Might be the pickup here. AEX, I'm expecting them to go for a Rakan for this one, because AEX known for a little bit of the stranger picks. Rakan isn't conventional in the sense in the meta, but synergizes so well with Xayah, so I'm not surprised that AEX picks it up.
Yeah, so as you can see, they did pick up the Saya and Rakan. And Genki Spear just opting for probably his Kazakhs.
Immediately going for the Kazakhs here.
Yeah, locks in the Kazakhs, locks in the Galio as well. So again, the Galio is a flex because we have seen Galio used in mid lane and top lane. So Genki, you still don't know who their mid laner or one of their solo laners are, and their AD carry as well.
So it's going to be a mix-up for the matchup. So AEX will have to get a good read against Genki.
Yes.
This will be the second banning phase. Banning out Fade's Ari, or just a usual generic mid lane ban. Vladimir also banned out. So annoying, so much sustain, and so much DPS. It's definitely all of these mid lane bans are actually against Awaken and Fade. Will be going up.
I'm actually surprised that they didn't ban out Awaken's Rise, because Awaken has been known to spam Rise, especially in solo queue. He has and when he runs, and I've seen that he's run them a lot in scrims as well. So it's really surprising. But they will opt for a Jarvan top lane possibly to secure Awaken's counter pick against whoever Genki Fade
they really are focusing on how Awaken can survive here and making sure that he's not counterpicked. Seems like Lucian will be the pickup. Talia as well for Fade if they lock this in. It's going to be high disruption team. Lots of ways to just lock them down while leaving Ace style to DPS. This might be the pickup. We will actually lock it down. We'll be seeing how Awaken will pick up his mid lane champion for this one. Let's see. What are the possible mid lane? He could go for the Rise here, but the Syndra seems much safer. It could definitely be the Rise, but I do think the Syndra is much more safer, a lot more consistent than other mid lane champions. The burst is just so powerful, but they are up against Blaze on that Lulu, so they might have a little bit of trouble if Genki's bot lane gets ahead and Awaken cannot one-shot that A-style Lucian.
But yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of pressure right now onto Genki Fade, because there is an Elise. He is forced to take the cleanse instead of Ghost on that Talia. So
yeah, a little weaker in terms of the roam, but it is necessary for him to just not die against Tamsu. That cocoon is so potent, actually. High pressure.
Yeah, especially from AEX's side, where they have a lot of crowd control as well. They have the cocoon, they have the stun coming out from Syndra, they have the knock up, the charm,
the snare even from the blade caller of that Saya.
So a lot of hard CC coming out from AEX as compared to Genki Esports. But one thing you have to take note of is Genki Esports probably has more damage coming out from their side, because they do have a carry jungler, they do have a Lucian as well. But I think the biggest problem for Genki here is that they don't have a lot of burst potential, which they need to be able to kill the Saya immediately before she gets an opportunity to use her ultimate.
And the longer you take to kill Xayah, that's gonna be all the time for her to set up her feathers and get all that burst, that CC as well with a snare, with a blade caller. So have to be really careful. And yeah, the composition coming from Genki is very DPS centric. The Talia, the Lucian, all of those projectiles flying out just for the constant DPS instead of the more burst centric damage that the Syndra has.
Yeah, the Syndra, they also have the Saya who can deal sustained damage. You also have the Jarvan as well dealing sustained damage. But one thing you have to take note.
But of course, yeah, one thing you have to take note is that all of this will play out as we load on to Summer's Rift.
Yeah.
Alright, let's take a view of Summoner's Rift as we get into Game 1 of Match 2 for the second day of the Pro Gaming Series Summer Split 2017. It's Genki Esports versus Acclaim Empire X. Will Genki recover from their losses yesterday, or will AEX have a good start in this split?
Yeah, and one thing you have to take note of is that Vanguard is physically present here in Manila, while the rest of the AEX squad is in Iloilo. So that's why you will see a lot of pings being used from their team as well.
They will have to make good use of their voice comms, more pings as well. Definitely something that they have to take into consideration. Seems like Genvi and Vanguard going for a very aggressive lane here. A lot of all-ins probably with the Grand Entrance and the Battle Dance. And the Blade Caller as well from Genvi with that Ignite. So that will be something we'll be expecting. A lot of action there in bot lane early.
One thing that's very out of the ordinary here is the fact that both AD carries didn't start Doran Shield.
Has it been a popular starting item for AD carries to survive in lane? Like all the short trades, the 20 health is actually substantial.
Yeah, and that's actually the most optimal itemization path right now for AD carries. But as you can see, Genvi opting for the longsword is a greedier start because he wants to get his first item faster.
Much faster. Can stay longer in lane as well in theory with around an extra 450 health.
And then you can expect A-Style to be more aggressive because he does have that Doran Shield, has the HP advantage over Genvi as well.
And yeah, but of course with even more sustain, even Genvi opting for that, whistle, might be going for a disrupt here. If he gets us, he got a single small raptor there.
Genvi still camping that brush, looking towards cheesing Genki's bot lane. They do go for it.
They do go for it. That is an Ignite plus the Deadly Plumage, dealing out lots of damage. Actually, the First Blood will be taking them down.
So even if they are hundreds of kilometers apart, they still get the First Blood onto Genki.
The coordination there.
Coordination
Just quickly taking them out. The Ignite before the heal can be popped. And starting with a Deadly Plumage first for all that DPS, because it is shared between Rakan and Xayah, so it's actually huge damage potential.
Yeah, but as you can see, the heal there from A-Style was actually late. Had he landed the heal, Blaze would have lived, would have gotten the exhaust on, and it could have probably been a kill onto Genvi instead because he was in turret range.
Something that all those split-second mechanics failed to come up there. Still, it's not that huge yet because Genvi hasn't back, so A-Style still has a potential to get revenge against Genvi.
Yeah, but as you can see now from the jungler's pathing, we have the Raptors into red into blue start coming out from Tamsu, while we have the red into blue into Gromp into Rift Scuttler coming out from Spear. As you can see, Tamsu already looking at the bottom lane of Genki Esports because he does know that they do not have summoners. Really good pathing coming out from Tamsu, and it was very obvious as well that he will be playing towards this bot side because they do know that he did start Raptors. So Genki Esports, a lot of pressure onto their bottom lane. We can expect to dive in the next 30 seconds. And as the wave crashes, probably with the next wave, they will look for a dive.
They do have the potential ahead in terms of the experience, ahead in terms of the potions as well that sustain. There is no heal available for A-Style, but it seems like, yeah, that's going to be Tamsu still waiting around the wings. He might find Spear. Seems like he will have to back off. Might be too risky to go for that dive.
Yeah, especially when you have Spear already there, waiting in the corner, waiting for Tamsu to go in for that dive. It could have been executed better if Genvi and Vanguard actually prepared the wave for that tower dive. But sadly, it wasn't a cannon wave as well, so they had limited opportunity. They had limited time to execute it, and it wasn't set up properly. Therefore, Tamsu just opts to go back to farming.
Yeah, and if Genvi really pushes out the lane with even a Blade Caller, that's like a cooldown for his burst and CC taken out, and will allow Genki to read through it and telegraph the gank from Tamsu. So good restraint on Tamsu to not get antsy.
Yeah, but as you can see, Tamsu already has the gold lead.
And it's still going to be a fight here. The Battle Dance really keeping Vanguard and Genvi alive. Blaze getting chunked down to below half. And now the Genvi still going for a fight here. Has the heal, but A-Style's way ahead in terms of the health. Pops his potion for a little bit more sustain. Now Genvi has to rely on his remaining potions and his Warlord's Bloodlust. But A-Style does not want to let that happen, though. That's the Grand Entrance taking him down. Tamsu is around the area. Seems like A-Style and Blaze have enough restraint to not get baited.
Yeah, but they do not know that Tamsu is actually there. Tamsu opting to recall instead. But that was still a heal burn for Genvi, and actually baited A-Style in also got the exhaust onto him, but then A-Style just way too tanky, didn't burn any summoners for that exchange.
It's part of the health coming from the Doran's Blade did help out in that fight. Plus he had that one potion remaining, so that did keep him alive there. Allows him to stay in lane a little bit longer and does not die.
Yeah, and as you can see, this is the reset coming out from Tamsu.
A little bit of trouble.
But Genki's spear already ahead.
Yeah, flashes away immediately to not get taunted by Whistle. Wonder if Awaken can help him out. There is really no way because Awaken is out of mana.
I like this aggression coming out from Genki's spear because note that they figured out that the Elite started at Raptors, so they were able to get the respawn timers onto the Raptors, and the moment the Raptors are about to respawn, Genki Spear and Genki Whistle are already there, ready to contest the Raptors of the Elite, which is really important, by the way, for any jungler, because that is more than 120 gold and a ton of EXP denied from Tamsu.
Something that jungler with pretty good AoE such as Tamsu and Clear does want. Having that denied from it is actually pretty big. Still, he is ahead of in CS, but it's probably skewed by the camps that he's taken. Tamsu probably taking a Krugs. Actually, because he took Spear's Krugs, that probably skews his CS by 10. It is 10
but
Krugs,
as you can see, he also takes the initial Krugs on their side of the jungle. So that's
like,
still reduced experience because it is the first Krugs of that side of the map.
Yeah, so don't let the numbers deceive you too much. He does have the tracker's knife, so he can get a little more vision when he goes for those counter ganks and those deep infiltrations.
But as you can see, we saw a ping there coming out from Tamsu. They know where each jungler is right now, especially when Spear is about to spot out Elise in their jungle. This is a lot of really high-level jungling gameplay.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's like even without vision, they absolutely know where the other is pathing because they knew where they started.
Yeah, and it's that important, getting the initial idea of where the enemy jungler starts. You'll be able to track him for the rest of the game.
So that means that the rest of the lanes also know when to go aggressive, when to all in, and when to back off. Really good restraint from both of these teams. Really good mindfulness of the jungler's pathing.
So you can just expect right now that the game's going to slow down.
Yes.
Because since they are able to track where the junglers are, like they do notice that this is going to be a blue handoff for Awaken. They will know that Tamsu is on the right side of the map.
That's true.
And the bot lane of Genki will play a little bit back, and they might get tower dove again. As we said earlier, they could have gotten tower dove, but again, Gen V and Vanguard are not properly setting up any big waves to dive bottom lane with. So we might actually just see a possible solo by Dragon as well. Solo Dragon coming out from the Elise.
That is possible from the Elise. Look at the ping. Just already knowing where they are after the vision from the control ward spots them out. The communication of these teams is super evident. Genki really recovering in terms of the momentum from yesterday. A-Style might get dove here though.
And this is actually a really good opportunity for them to kind of counterplay onto Gen V.
Okay, that might be the gank onto Fade. Oh, that is going to be a three-man gank. Now it's going to be Tamsu taken out by the turret. Now Spear has to move away. That was a three-man gank down mid.
Yeah, and as you can see, that was set up a few minutes before. So even though they were spotted out by the control ward, I don't know why Fade was playing towards the right side of the map, right side of the mid lane.
To the left.
Yeah, exactly. Even though Cannon was missing, he still would have lived because if Cannon went on him first, he could have just flashed over the wall towards the Wolf's camp.
Yeah, but here in that case, he had both of these summer spells and still die. Spear gets the revenge kill, but that's still a lot of mid lane pressure towards Awaken in Awaken's favor. Look at that, just continuously pushing against Fade while he's gone.
Yeah, and that's actually the opposite thing that you want to see because you usually expect...
Oh man, that might be another gank though. Fade tries to go for the seismic shove, misses. Still a lot of damage against Awaken. Will they go for it? The flash is not available, or rather it was available for Whistle. Did not opt for it.
So it wasn't available, the flash coming out from Whistle.
Yeah.
It was still on cooldown. It was really over-ambitious. Fade has been missing these really important skill shots where he repositions his enemy. So a little bit, probably not that comfortable with the Taliyah pick. But then again, in this matchup where you have a Taliyah versus a Syndra, you'd expect the Taliyah to be out-pushing the Syndra. But the amount of pressure that Tamsu has had and Cannon as well onto the mid lane, it's just forcing Fade to
back to his turret, cannot roam too much, and having to build that Merc Tread so he doesn't die instantly to awaken. Seems like the pressure coming from AEX is huge onto Genki. Genki surviving a little bit, but they might get choked out if they continue to get out-pressured by Tamsu. Spear has to make something happen.
1,000 gold lead already for AEX, just by sheer micro. Like, you can see that the lanes are somewhat even, but the gold lead is actually stemming from the 2 kills and a little minor inconsistencies with like how the supports have been playing.
How they've been using their support items here. This might be a gank coming from Spear. That is the quickness onto 3 members, charming the 3 of them. That's going to be the Blade Caller, not just yet pop. Teleport from Cannon will be cancelled.
Yeah, but that was really over-ambitious coming out from Genki and Vanguard. They have been disrespecting A-Style and Blaze entire game. And the moment Spear goes there, they lose their TP priority.
Man, and that is going to be 200 seconds where Whistle has the advantage in terms of TP. So if Spear can make something happen, that is the Infernal Drake. They could be useful. A-Style does not get knocked up. The Ignite gets thrown on him. Exhausted is Genvi. A-Style, no mana, cannot push his luck, but here comes Spear. Might go for a response, or just around a little bit for vision in case Tamsu comes.
Yeah, but as you can see right now, both junglers playing towards that bot side. They know that a lot of summoners have been burned. Like, they know that the exhaust is down for Blaze. They know that the heal, the flash, and the ignite is missing from the AEX bot lane.
The mana isn't there too, but here comes Tamsu. Might go for something. That will be the teleport from Whistle, scaring them away. They will continue with that teleport.
Yeah, but I think Whistle jumped the gun way too soon. They should have waited for AEX to commit a little bit more before using that teleport, because Spear was on his way. They could have collapsed into the 3 people.
Cannon.
But then, because of his misplay, because of him jumping the gun, Cannon gets the first turret.
It could be Fade trying to stop him. Actually does succeed. Cannon does not have the mana to sustain a further push.
Yeah, but
it seems like Fade has to return to that.
It's hard for Fade right now because his mid lane will get chunked as well. And that's usually what happens when your enemy has mid lane priority, outpushes you, gets a lot of chip damage onto your turret.
You can't really have the freedom to roam around. Of course, with that play, it's not about the teleport play, but rather because they pushed Genvi and Vanguard out, this does give Spear the opportunity to give his team an Infernal Drake. It's pretty good for them, but still, 1,000 gold behind. The Infernal Drake value for that is around 500, 600 in terms of converting it to AD, but still.
Yeah, one thing you have to take note of as well is that all the outer turrets coming out from AEX are still healthy, because it's always Genki getting pushed in. Regardless of what lane, they always get pushed in.
It seems like Spear, though, has not been using the fact that AEX is constantly pushing to his advantage. He has a few counter ganks, but the pressure is not the same that Tamsu has been putting out.
Yeah, and it's just scary because if Spear actually chooses to respond to over-aggression on one side, he could lose the first turret.
That's going to be an engage coming from that Rakan. All of that damage onto A-Style. The Ignite will not be ready, but that might be Blaze snared. The Blade Caller was not ready after that Featherstorm. Could have been a kill if he had that available. Now it's going to be Cannon, the target of the gank here. Just Dragon Strikes away.
Yeah, a lot of aggression coming out from Genvi.
Oh, now it's going to be Fade. And it's just a little trade-off. Iconic. What was your thought earlier?
As you can see, a lot of aggression coming out from Genvi and Vanguard. So even though they're not getting any kills, they keep forcing A-Style and Blaze to keep recalling. And that ends up resulting into chip damage. That results in Fade having to rotate from the mid lane to another lane. And then that eventually snowballs into Awaken having free roam, like being able to respond to this fight.
This might actually be a fight here. Cannon does not have mana. Awaken is barely recovering in mana, so they have to flash out of there. But that is going to be the Unleash Power. All those balls in Spear's face take him out. That's going to be Whistle having to run away. Awaken with a flash.
Awaken with the flash. Again, the theme for today is everyone's trying to rival the best flash PH. As we saw earlier today, Coop's flashing in with no mana. Now we have Awaken flashing in with no mana.
Oh man. Fiesta coming here, but A-Style in duress. But here comes his support. Blaze just saves him. The feathers come from Genvi, not quite as precise as Marquis.
Yeah, and again, that play, that kill onto Spear only happened because of Genvi and Vanguard, because they forced Fade to go to the bottom side of the map, and then they take something cross-map in the Herald. Even though they weren't able to deny the Herald, they were able to get up a kill onto Spear. And it was very smart. Yeah, very smart from Awaken, because they know that.
Oh, okay, that was a solo kill after all of that damage put onto him by Genvi.
Yeah, so he knows that the Galio is all magic resist, so he actually holds his Unleash power until Spear is actually targetable.
And when Spear's targetable, Nasty Unleash power onto him, takes him out, just the last ball. And really, I like that restraint of not using it immediately. And because, yeah, that's what we're talking about. Fade lose. If Fade had mid lane priority there, that would have been a straight up 3v2, allowing Genki to not only get the Herald, but also maybe 1 or 2 kills. But this will force Cannons teleport to the top lane. There's no one else, though, to defend this. This will be an easy Rift Herald destruction. Cannon will be left alone here, and the turret goes down. That is going to be alone. Has a Dragon Strike out. That is going to be the Weaver's Wall to block him out. That's going to be Vanguard and Genvi trying to help him. But, oh man, he is separated by that Weaver's Wall. A lot of DPS lost from Genvi because he was blocked away by a really good Fade Weaver Wall.
Yeah, and it was really ambitious from AEX, trying to turn onto a Galio that is so tanky right now, especially with Spectre's Cowl. That item itself is so gold efficient, and it helps you regenerate so much HP that they just couldn't kill him.
And they still lose Cannon over that, having to burn his teleport as well. Fate even takes out Genvi at the backside. Now it's going to be the teleport coming from Whistle. He does not have Hero's Entrance yet, but it's not needed. A Spear finishes him off, and now all that time leaves A-Style down bot, able to get a lot of damage onto the turret, but he overstays, and Awaken gives him a wake-up call. Says you can't push that deep.
Yeah, you can't be as aggressive. You can't be careless when it comes to pushing these lanes. But Genvi face checks into 3 members of the Genki squad. Immediately loses his life. Vanguard loses his life as well. And then now Genki is pushing towards their mid lane. It was pretty okay that Awaken had to rotate to the bottom lane. Is still at the bottom lane, but there's a lot of wave clear coming out from the Jarvan.
They can counter the all the chip damage that Genki did to their own turrets. Let's break that fight there, top lane down.
Yeah, so as you can see, Genvi just being over-aggressive, disrespecting the fact that there's a brush there.
Yeah, there was no chance for him to react to that, but there were a lot of precautions that they could have taken, like not face-checking or checking there.
Yeah, because he tunneled vision so hard onto that turret.
Yeah, because that's so low. Get debated by that like single health turret. But now they will be able to get this. Has 4 members with no one to respond. How is Genki responding to this? Seems like they might be converging mid lane.
I actually want to see AEX just commit to another turret right here, because they have really fast pushing capabilities, because they have the Spiderlings and they have the Damascene Standard coming out from Jarvan. So a lot of bonus attack speed coming out. It's going to be another turret. As you can see, they commit 3 people right now.
And the Deadly Plumage as well, since it stacks on both Rakan and Xayah, all that bonus damage and all that attack speed can go onto the turret once they have some alone time, but it seems like they are pushed off a little bit since they committed a little bit too late for that.
Yeah, but they have no idea that Spear's about. They actually do have an idea of Spear trying to solo this. So they will cancel the recalls and look for a trade. Mountain Drake for top inner turret.
They have to make that trade, otherwise Spear will get this for super free. Seems like the rest of the Genki squad doing a pretty good job at pushing them away, so they will have to settle for this mid lane turret. But even then, let's Whistle, a gargoyle just defending this mid lane with impunity.
Yeah, and exactly one thing that AEX didn't factor in is that Fade can wave clear for days with that credit volley. Like he just recently came to the top lane, so there isn't a lot of work ground, so he can wave clear 1 to 3 waves maybe with this credit volley, and it would stop AEX's commitment. Like, what they should have opted for is actually a dive onto the inner turret against whoever tries to wave clear.
That could have been possible because they have so much damage and potential to just dish out the damage, leave them for dead, and then take out the turret after that. But it seems like they were pushed away. Did not have the confidence to pull off that dive. Now they did give up. that mounted Drake, one of the most important Drakes in the game for free to spear.
Yeah, and as you can see right now, in terms of itemization,
here might be trouble. Cannon has to flash away. That is one combo piece potentially taken away from that Jarvan the fourth.
yeah, but this is scary because they do not have enough adequate wave clear coming out for the mid lane.
Yeah, since Fade isn't here, he
Yeah.
will be able to get this.
And Whistle, sure he can wave clear, but not for long.
He has to put himself in harm's way as well if he wants to go for that Justice Punch.
But he's just way too tanky.
Yeah, super tanky. Even without his armor.
It's actually interesting that he opted for the Abyssal Scepter instead of the Adaptive Helm.
The Adaptive Helm would have been helpful against all these spamming skills of AEX. It seems like AEX will not be giving up this turret objective. They will want to take it, but now Fade is here.
Yeah,
so
but
they have to be more careful.
Missing the Threaded Volley.
Dear. That is Genki burning a huge cooldown in the Featherstorm for nothing, really.
And the ultimate as well coming out from Vanguard.
Yeah.
Whistle, way too tanky, just staying in, just channeling his taunt. Also with the damage reduction.
Yeah.
Takes only 10-12% of his HP down.
And now Genki has a priority for this mid lane because AEX running low on these blue resources. Their mana might not be enough to clear all of these waves before A-Style gets a few hits out. Might be with Cannon does not have ultimate here, so it's a little bit dangerous. So Vanguard and Awaken both have to flash out with Genvi getting shot down to low health. Whistle goes in with Spear. Now this is going to be a dive coming from Genki with a double kill onto Spear, diving the low health AEX that were distracted and running away.
I like how Whistle just stands there and takes all the punishment, burning cooldowns from AEX. I don't know what AEX is thinking right now because they see him channeling his taunt. They know that they'll do reduced damage, but they still throw really important cooldowns at him. And the moment that their cooldowns are
expanded,
they suddenly Genki goes in for the kill.
And then Spear finishes them off from the side, from downtown. Spear gets a few kills, 5-1 and 2 right now. Able to get that Baron Nashor at 23 minutes very easily. Let's break that down.
See, as you can see, Cannon uses his combo, Vanguard uses his knock-up, and then the moment they don't have cooldowns, Spear's free to go in, and then you have the hero's entrance coming out from Whistle, just knocking everyone up. Vanguard slowly gets sniped by the Threaded Volley, and then Spear just kills Cannon as well. Genvi almost died from that fight had A-Style flash in. So it could have been much worse, but I like how they transitioned it into a Baron instead after taking that mid-outer turret.
Definitely wonderful. The decisiveness of the shot calls coming from Genki, much more solid than AEX. What started there was that Cannon and Vanguard tried to go in, but not really paying off for them. In fact, that was what that was the root of that entire
Going on to
Baron.
a Galio that's channeling his damage reduction taunt. Exactly. And as you can see right now, with the itemization, even Spear's so tanky with the new Death's Dance. It's 30% damage technically mitigated because he can heal it up when he receives that damage.
And that is no slouch in terms of AD as well. Gives him some CDR to continue his spamming. So, and here he can just freely push this in because the rest of AEX is pressured by the rest of Genki's squad, having that Baron up and having a substantial lead.
Yeah, and as you can see, Cannon opting for the Black Cleaver. He already built his page, already has that Ruby Crystal. But usually what you see from most Jarvans now when they go in the top lane is after they build their Tiamat, they start building tanky immediately, or else they instantly get bursted down by the enemy team. So as you can see, there is no front line present for AEX. The moment Cannon goes in, the moment Vanguard goes in, they will be blown up by how ahead Spear is. Spear is 5-1 and 2.
And this leaves their carries alone to be taken out by Spear.
Exactly,
and
the amount of sustained damage.
That's true. So it's really a dangerous spot for AEX at this point of the game. 3,000 gold behind is not too disastrous, but because of how the compositions and how they've itemized, it's difficult for AEX to get something out here. And look at how the wave clear from Genki is just allowing A-Style to wail on these turrets. It's too dangerous. He is 500 range. Cannot commit too hard unless it's a 100% guarantee.
I am actually very happy that the Banshee's Veil came out for Fade because that means that he isn't a viable target already for Awaken. slowly building into that Rylai's as well to dish out more CC. His shredded volleys will be scary.
Man, that is going to be A-Style charmed up, but the redemption pushes AEX away, cannot finish off that target with the heals, and the Baron of minions still slowly but surely taking out this turret.
Yeah, but one thing you have to take note of is Genki do not have the best siege.
Yes, they do not have the best siege. 80 carries short range.
They have a Talia.
Yeah, they have a Talia as well. This is very great wave clear, but other than that, it's way too dangerous to go for a direct siege, especially against the AEX squad, who might just dive onto them with sheer damage. So they will just use the Weaver's Wall to force them to go away. Genki, a little bit of a dangerous spot there if Spear wants to go onto him. He does have the flash.
Yeah, the only way they can actually do take turrets right now is by using the Weaver's Wall to isolate the enemy and then go for picks. They actually have a really weird team composition because they don't have a lot of methods to set up picks aside from Fade. Fade's going to have to make the plays with those picks, get those kills against AEX just so that they can actually break through the defense of AEX.
Yeah, they have to set up in a way that Spear can clean them up, A-Style as well, because Fade cornered them into a dangerous spot. So that's something that is on Fade's shoulders. It seems like Whistle as well is doing so great at being a frontline for AEX. Building into that Iceborne Gauntlet, a boost to his AoE damage as well in team fights.
Especially with how bad Sunfire Cape is right now. I'm actually happy to see that a lot of top laners right now are opting to skip Sunfire Cape for something else, like the Iceborne Gauntlet, because it does provide a little bit of AoE, but not as strong as like the previous Sunfire, but it's still there. And another one thing to take note of is that Galio already has a lot of wave clear.
That is not a good spot to be in. Instantly gets taken down by Spear. So this leaves the top lane open.
It appears like Fade actually listened to the shoutcasters and is actually is actually hitting his skill shots now. That very important repositioning where your enemy, that's what they need to do to actually get pickoffs. So as you can see, the seismic shove. As you can see, Galio already going to DPS onto that inner turret, bottom inner turret for AEX.
Yeah.
And with the Iceborne Gauntlet, he will be able to take it out faster.
Now it's going to be Spear going in. Look at all of those heals, all those shields. Cannon tries to go in, but still going to be Genki Fade trying to go around. Whistle teleports there to help out his team. Hero's entrance just for safety. It's going to be a double kill on the Fade. The turret still goes to them. And they are in position to take more turrets. The wave just has to be waited for. Oh, no, Whistle just completely tanks this turret. Now that they have the cannon.
I would have actually wanted Whistle to just continuously tank that turret because
he does have the damage reduction from his taunt. They are free to take this inhibitor as well, choking out AEX, extending the gold lead to like 7,000.
So they lost that backdoor. They had backdoor protection for like a few seconds, and in these situations, every second counts.
Yeah.
They needed to keep that cannon minion alive with 10 HP.
In these pro games, even the slightest, even the cannon minion is important coming into these sieges. Baron will be up in a minute. Let's see how all of that mid lane dive.
So Genki Spear goes into Genvi, but then again gets caught by the root, then the knock up, and then the cataclysm. But Genvi gets again by the threaded volley coming out from Fade just takes him. Tamsu also out of position, has the burn flash. Cannon will die to the amount of damage Fade is. Fade's just left wide open this entire fight and just destroys AEX's backline.
And all of that culminates into that turret, that inhibitor, and all of those shields, all of those healing for Spear definitely kept him alive long enough for the rest of his team to follow up on all of the cooldowns that were burned on him. So that's something very important, how much protection they can get. Giving up more damage as well to build the Maw Mortius. So just combining it with the Death's Dance means that Awaken is just even more hard-pressed to find kills now.
Yeah, and look at how aggressive Fade's itemization is. Opting for the Liandry's instead of opting for the Rylai. So he doesn't want to go utility, he wants to get those kills.
Full damage, that's going to be Cannon diving in. Oh, setting them up for the hero's entrance. That backfired onto them. A-Style still doing lots of damage in the background. The Blade Caller does not deal enough damage. Still going to be Whistle smacking him down, dunking him with his passive. Of course, Awaken does shut down Fade, but still, that's only 1 kill. This does set up Genki for a push or for Baron.
Yeah, so it's now on to Awaken and Tamsu to be able to steal this Baron, but with double Infernal Drakes and a single Mountain Drake, it's pretty hard to contest the amount of damage.
Yeah, plus Awaken has to go to the top lane to defend and wave clear. Doesn't seem like Tamsu can get there in time, plus Whistle was there for the disruption. Taking away resources as well from the jungle just means AEX is further choked. Have their backs to the wall.
So as you can see, A-Style goes in really aggressive, gets knocked. Cannon just stands there blocking the damage for no reason. Then gets knocked up and then Cataclysm, but that Cataclysm backfires because the hero's entrance gets 2 members of AEX because Cannon didn't cancel his Cataclysm. He trapped his own team. All of those Anivia, Jarvan memes
I'm helping.
come to life. I am helping. Exactly, perfect setup for the Galio instead.
I am Cannon, I am helping, just leaves him open for this Galio. AEX with that Baron, with 2 Infernal Drakes and a Mountain Drake, and a 9,000 gold lead.
And it's just very hard for AEX because the composition coming up from Genki is so strong with their counter engage. Especially with AEX this far behind, and then they try to go for these really very ambitious plays. Whistle will just jump right in front of your face and mitigate all of your damage.
Yeah, Cannon and Vanguard, no matter how many times they jump in, seems like all of Genki's protection and their lead is actually protecting them here.
Yeah, exactly. And just how tanky Whistle is right now.
Jesus. Plus he has a Locket of the Iron Solari as well to help him out with those shields.
So right now it just looks like they're being choked out.
Oh man, this might be dangerous for AEX. They are locked away from the rest of their team, so this will leave them open. Leave A-Style to just use his passive here, but now it's going to be Whistle diving in, giving the kill onto himself. That's going to be A-Style still dealing so much damage. He is on a rampage right now with Spear, taking away the backline. Tamsu now the final target. Seems like they will dive for it. Not enough damage. OGB, that is going to be the final kill on Ace, and this will be the first win of this match onto Genki against AEX.
Genki looking to pad their KDA a little, getting that kill onto Tamsu in the fountain.
Just get that eke out, another kill for Fade at the cost of Spear's life.
And the Genki special as well, you know, the badges, the BM. Just to be expected.
The teleport BM as well.
The flashes, everything. You can't be Genki without that.
Yeah, give them that Genki special indeed.
So it does look like Spear was right, that he would be able to defeat Tamsu. So again, a lot of people fighting for Tamsu's spot right now. The former, probably, I don't know if he still is, the #1 jungler in the Philippines.
Seems like now, seems like maybe the meta has caught up to him, and maybe because Zach has been a priority pick, so he can't be free to use it as much. So the pressure that he can pull out for his team is not as much. Maybe it's also the roster changes as well.
Yeah.
Really making it difficult for AEX. So all of this, and look at the standings here, 2-0 and 12, unkillable Whistle.
Yeah, unkillable, especially when the enemy Jarvan gets the Black Cleaver instead of Spectre's Cowl or Deadman's Blade.
Man, look at the damage. Look at how much A-Style did. And even though AEX's AD carry also did the most damage throughout the game, the rest of his team wasn't enough because probably all that 21,000 damage is all on trying to kill Whistle, but Whistle never dies.
One thing you have to take note of is like the proper itemization coming out from Jarvan. You have to get that Gargoyle Stone Plate. One of the reasons why he's a top tier pick right now is because of that Gargoyle Stone Plate. But if you don't get it, if you itemize greedily and get the Black Cleaver, there's no way you're going to survive when you go in. Which is exactly the case. The moment he goes in, Galio goes in. Galio counter engages, and then they just lose the fight.
That friggin' Stone Plate, because he didn't have a Stone Plate, the Galio, the Gargoyle himself just rock blocks him.
You have to be the enemy to defeat the enemy. That's exactly it. You have to become a Gargoyle yourself.
It's really an effective item, but of course that was the first game. We'll see if AEX can recover from that and take back what they think is theirs. Of course, Genki with a very good momentum and recovering from yesterday. We'll see if how all of that plays out in the second game of the second match for the Pro Gaming Series Summer Split 2017, powered by Bacchus. We have in your Shoutcasters, I am Atlas. With me is Iconic. We'll be back after a break for the second game. Ultimate here, so it's a little bit dangerous. The Vanguard and Awaken both have to flash out with Genki getting shot down to low health. Whistle goes in with Spear. Now this is going to be a dive coming from Genki with a double kill onto Spear, diving the low health AEX that were distracted and running away.
He will be able to take it out
faster. Now it's going to be Spear going in. Look at all of those heals. All those shields. Cannon tries to go in, but still going to be Genki Fade trying to go around. Whistle teleports there to help out his team. Hero's Entrance just for safety. Average, that's going to be Cannon diving in. Oh, setting them up for the Hero's Entrance. That backfired onto them. A-Style still doing lots of damage in the background. The Blade Caller does not deal enough damage. Still going to be Whistle smacking him down, dunking him with his team. So this will leave them open. I believe A-Style can just use his passive here, but now it's going to be Whistle diving in, getting the kill onto himself. That's going to be A-Style still dealing so much damage. He is on a rampage right now with Spear taking away the backline top two. Now the final target. Seems like they will dive for it. Not enough damage. Ultimately, that is going to be the final kill on Ace. And this will be the first win on this match until Genki at the cost of Spear's life.
And the Genki special as well. You know, the badges, the BM. Just to be expected.
The teleport BM as well.
The flashes, everything. You can't be Genki without that.
Yeah, give them that Genki special indeed.